Welcome back to Boca Raton, Florida. This video is going to be the ultimate pros and cons video coming from somebody who actually relocated themselves down here to Boca Raton. If you didn't know anything about me, before I made Boca Raton my actual playground for myself and my family, we actually came from North Florida and we looked pretty much all over in the state of Florida for the best living type of place, city for our family. And we discovered that Boca Raton was the best one for us. But coming from somebody who's lived here for multiple years, has a daughter who goes to the school system, there's some things that are pros and cons that, you know, somebody who's considering moving here, watching videos like this one right here about moving, relocating yourself down here to Boca Raton, Florida, you may just have to know some of the pros and cons before you actually make the move here. We're gonna start with the pros. Stay tuned to the end. We're gonna get to all those cons, negative things that people like to know about, because sometimes you just don't know what you don't know. If you didn't know anything about Boca Raton, right behind me, forest area, is the area down here by the beach that's free EV charging for your Tesla. Not a political statement, or any electrical vehicle that you have. You can charge it for free while you go to the beach. One of the perks of being a Boca Raton resident. Again, this is a great playground. Right behind me right here, we're gonna be seeing what the beach looks like today, so make sure you stay tuned to that part of the video. The beach is right across here. This playground is really great. It's never overcrowded, as you can see. Right before I got out of here, there's like 2 kids playing on it right now. It's pretty much dead and open to any kids. We are in peak season out here in Boca. So as we're walking around, you're gonna see a lot of people in their cars. They have a little park pass here, and you can look around. There's tons and tons of parking here. So as I always mention in these videos, Boca Raton never gets too crowded or overwhelmed in the parking lot, and it always stays a very beautiful place to live. And this is pro number 1. My wife and I, we actually travel to pretty much any of the hot city spots in Florida, trying to determine the best place for our family. And what we discovered is that nowhere else has the beauty of Boca Raton, Florida. Everything out here is so manicured. Even this jungle type of forest environment to get to the beach is beautiful. They take a lot of work. They're always edging the plants. You're never gonna get hit by a random branch out here. Don't sue me if you do get hit by a random branch, but they do a lot of work for landscaping. It's always beautiful out here in Boca Raton. You definitely feel this, like when you go to another city out here, once you drive outside of Boca, especially like Deerfield Beach, you definitely feel the difference. It's not Boca Raton any longer. It's not as beautiful. It's not well maintained. Boca Raton, we don't have graffiti everywhere and all this. I don't know how to describe it. If you've ever been driving through a bad area, you know when you're in a good area versus a bad area. Can't just put it in words, but you'll understand. Number 2 pro about living out here in Boca Raton is that it's very, very family friendly. What I mean by this is that we have playgrounds throughout the entire city limits of Boca. Very, very family friendly, with numerous parks such as the one we're at right now. The schools out here are absolutely amazing. So again, we actually, I'm always scared of a coconut falling on my head. We actually moved out here because the school zone district and that the schools out here are all A-rated. Here's the beach right behind me. If you're wondering what the beach looks like today in winter, this is what your winter would be like moving forward. A very beautiful beach, not overcrowded. And you know, unlike the Gulf side, so the Gulf side, the west side of Florida, the water can be shallow or it can be rough. It could be rough waves. You don't know what you're gonna get on this side of Florida. The Gulf side tends to always look like this. It doesn't always look this calm. You can definitely get waves out here if you're into surfing. It is something that you can do out here as well. But again, back to that family friendly part. So when you are out here in Boca Raton, Boca doesn't allow like strip clubs. They don't allow like dirty used car sales places or this alcohol ABC liquor stores everywhere. If it's not family friendly, Boca Raton really doesn't allow it. So it keeps the environment very focused on clean, neat, and organized. And it just makes everything easier for a family. Like if you're anything like myself, like I just want to go work, have a safe spot for my daughter. If you never had a daughter before and you're a father, just it feels different once you have a daughter. You just want a nice, safe spot for her. and Boca Raton gives me that nice safe space for her. Now, number 3 pro is going to be, the mature environment. It's not one of these areas in Palm Beach Gardens that's a brand new neighborhood that just got built in the middle of absolutely nowhere out there. The neighborhoods out here, especially on East Boca, have been built out for many years now. You exactly know what you're buying into and what does it actually mean to buy into the area. When you say you live in Boca Raton, people around here already know what that means. It has its own vibe, meaning behind it. And when you buy into a community like that, when you buy into like Royal Oak Hills, Old Foresta, and you buy into Camino Gardens, any of these particular types of neighborhoods, neighborhoods in this city that's, kind of been around for a while. We're actually going on our 100th year anniversary here in South Florida for Boca Raton, but you kind of already know what you're buying into. It's kind of secure, because there's such demand to live in an area with a good reputation such as Boca. And when you buy into these neighborhoods, each neighborhood is so mature itself already. You kind of already know what you're buying into and if you're a good fit or not for that particular neighborhood. Number 4 pro is safety. So I can't just talk about data. It's not allowed, unfortunately, as a real estate agent, but I can talk about how I feel and the people around me feel. We feel very safe with our kids down here in Boca Raton. As I'm walking through the beach park, you compare this to like Jacksonville, Florida beach. I lived there for like 5 years, so I can probably make a statement about this. It always felt, as the best word I could describe it, as sketch. Boca Raton Beach never feels sketch. So I'm out here again. It's never too busy, but there's not like, I don't know how to describe it. It doesn't feel sketchy. It just feels like a nice, calm area. If you like walking around, this is a great area to walk around because it's shaded, especially during summer. It takes away a lot of the heat. Again, we got some kids right over there. That's what I mean. You can always take your kid out here and play in the playground. It's never too busy, not overcrowded. It's a really great place, and parents feel safe taking their kid, just one parent, one kid, to come out here and play, that there's no like creepy things going on. So there's a feeling of safety where when I lived in certain other areas of Florida, I really took the initiative to make sure my door was locked, especially at work. I used to just go out there multiple times, did I lock my door? I need to lock the door. Did I lock my front door? Here, you don't have to worry like that. And it brings a certain ease to your life, especially, I don't know what's going on in Canada. And some people who reach out to me from Coral Gables and, further South Florida have had a lot of issues with their safety. And that's why they're reaching out to me to, looking to move into Boca Raton and see if it's a good fit for them. And safety is your concern. You're gonna love, this environment here might be best for you. Number 5 pro is these exclusive beaches. There's some butterflies up there. I don't know if you can see it, but these beaches are amazing. So like I said, peak season right now it's about 1:30. If you go to Hollywood, Florida Beach, Fort Lauderdale Beach, South Beach in Miami, this would be absolutely nuts. You're gonna smell marijuana smoke, you're gonna smell cigarettes, alcohol, booze, a lot of drunk teenagers. Here you don't get that. If you're looking for that type of an environment where you don't have bars right on the water, this is a great contender for you. Getting out here, let's see what the water looks like on this beach entrance. As you can see, it's not a bad looking beach by any means. Again, if you look at the demographic, it is not older people that people say in my comment section all the time that Boca is just for retirees. Pretty much everybody out here is between the age of, maybe it looks like here, 25 to maybe 45 years old. If you are a senior citizen, you can still move out here, but for some odd reason, people think Boca Raton is a retirement center, but everybody who's out here currently is not, and Boca is changing rapidly. But it's very exclusive. People who are not a Boca resident, they have to pay like $55 to park for one time, and it drives them all to the South Beach. That's a little bit cheaper. This place, a little bit more excluded. It feels like more exclusive when you're going to the beach. You're going to the beach to relax. If you're going to the beach to party, this is not the beach for you. Just so you know, you can drive there and live here. It's up to you. Number 6 is access to great amenities. And like in other videos, we have boat launches, we have tons of parks, pickleball courts, tennis courts, volleyball courts, whatever you want for fun, golf courses, yoga, Pilates, tons of med spas out here. We have it for you. It's available. If you're looking for that type of environment, you can get it out here in Boca. And if you can't get it here, we're kind of central in South Florida in general. So if you're looking for airports, we're halfway in between West Palm Beach Airport, Fort Lauderdale Airport, Miami Airport. Number 7 pro, and our last of these pros, is going to be, it's a, what they call in some business world, CNO, clean, neat, organized, and a great place to socialize and meet new people. So pretty much everybody who's reaching out to me and a lot of my other real estate friends are all people who are moving down here. They're people who are relocating. They're people who are very outgoing, like to do things outdoors, or they're just people who have kids and want to do, you know, stuff with their family. What I'm getting at is if you're the type of person who needs to socialize, it's gonna be very easy to socialize here because everybody is new. That means people are looking to make new friends. If you move to, say, Seattle, where they have that Seattle freeze, it's not a thing here. So if you go to a pickleball, your clubhouse in your gated community, you're gonna easily make friends, meet people who are just like you, looking to move down to an area like this, and you're gonna be surprised. Most people who are moving down here are very similar in some features of what they want for their family, their future, and it's not this crazy party mindset. If you're into that, you would probably look closer to Miami. Again, if you're working in Miami, this is probably not the best place for you if you're working there every day. But if you're commuting 2 or 3 times a week, I've helped a lot of people who are relocating here to Boca because of the school system, the environment, the cleanliness of the area, and they drive there for work in the mornings. Unfortunately, GPS is going to tell you it's like an hour drive to Miami, but during rush hour and craziness on I-95, expect it could be 2 hours. So just leave 2 hours before you have to go to work. You usually make it there on time. Now the negatives. So the first and the strongest negative of the Boca Raton area is the rapid increase in home prices. This helps you if you already bought a home, but if you're looking to purchase a home, if you're from Boca Raton or Florida and you want to relocate your family here to Boca Raton, this is the absolute biggest negative for you, and I hear it over and over. And right now is, to be honest, it's just really bad. So home price appreciation has really priced out a lot of people out here, a lot of younger people who haven't fully established themselves, and even a lot of young professionals. And how I say, they're just very passionate and very emotional about being priced out. And they'll let you know that the housing market is going to crash. They'll consume hours and hours of housing market crash videos for the state of Florida. Instead of finding ways to make their dreams a reality, they spend a lot of times focused on things that they can't control and not achieving their dreams of buying a home down here in Boca Raton. And they're very upset. You're going to find a lot of vocal people in the comment section probably on this video. And in just your everyday life, you're going to meet a lot of people who are just genuinely upset about the Florida housing market and just love watching content about a crash. A lot of the homes out here more than doubled from 5 years ago. A lot of areas have been completely changed where, you know, $500,000 neighborhoods become $3 million neighborhoods, and people just don't see the value of it because they lived here for so long. And unfortunately, they're having to move to other locations. And sometimes these other locations aren't the best places either. So it's give or take. A lot of people love Boca Raton because of its beauty, exclusivity. And if you look behind me, like, the beach is just kind of for yourself right here in peak season. A lot of people absolutely love this aspect of Boca Raton. Number 2 negative that I hear from people in Boca Raton is that the schools are becoming more overcrowded. And this is because of the demographic switch that's occurred. I know a lot of people will say, again, Boca Raton's a retirement center, but everybody who's reached out to me has kids. These kids are going to the public school system. Now, Boca Raton has rebuilt several elementary schools to become much larger and bigger. They've opened up a new elementary school. They're planning on making a new middle school. Again, there's just so many young kids coming to Boca Raton. It's completely changed the demographic, and it's put a lot of stress on the school systems. Now, Boca Raton, like I said, is building new schools, and such as Blue Lake Elementary School, a school that recently got rated. It just opened up like a year ago. It's now rated as an A school. So Boca Raton knows how to do public schools here, but it is a negative for some parents who've seen their class sizes go from like 12 to 13, 14, 15, 16 per teacher. And you know, it's a change that you have to, you know, deal with during these growing pains of a rapid change of a city. Number 3 negative, if you want to move out here to the beautiful area of Boca Raton, is that there's no new construction that's made for affordable housing. So housing is very limited here. Land is extremely limited. Pretty much all the cities are completely built out. All the neighborhoods are built out here. There's only a few new construction options left here in Boca Raton relative to everything else. But if you're looking for a starter home out here for below $500,000, it's just not here any longer. There was like a study for the Miami metropolitan area. In the past 5 years, all the starter homes priced below $500,000, over 80% are completely gone. So that entire market is really shrunken, and you're stuck with condos that have these crazy HOA fees and special assessments. And we don't want to get into that to this video, but there's no more starter homes out here in Boca Raton. This is the negative for a lot of families who waited, and now they can't afford the entry-level home around $700,000 to $800,000 for an older home in West Boca or certain areas in East Boca Raton. So this is a negative affecting a lot of people looking to start their lives here in Boca. Number 4 negative is dealing with these older homes. So this is an entire other topic. So South Florida is known for having very shaky, iffy construction workers. They do a lot of stuff for you, especially on Facebook Market. They're trying to scam you, do things without permits, and the cost is never what they say it's going to be. But just be aware that a lot of these homes that have been remodeled out here in Boca Raton, or their maintenance, quote unquote, is all over the place. If you don't know what you're looking for and don't know a trusted inspector, I can help you out with that if you reach out to me. I am a licensed real estate agent. I can help you locate a decent inspector. There's a lot of terrible home inspectors out here. I hate to say it, but it's a different world down here in South Florida. Just put it that way. Dealing with older construction homes, if you're looking for this model new construction home, it's gonna be much harder to get out here in Boca Raton than other cities in Florida. The Gulf side, the west side of Florida, has that Tampa, Sarasota area with so much land where they can build a new neighborhood in the middle of nowhere or middle of a swamp, you know, every year. But here, there's just not that option. So you don't get that option for new construction as readily, so you have to deal with the weird maintenance of some of these older homes. Number 5 negative con is going to be everybody out here, because you know it creates this particular type of hustle culture. I don't know if it comes from Miami upwards, but everybody's trying to get some type of something from you, unfortunately. So people, even at doctor's offices, they'll try to upcharge you for a special test that they say is good for you, and you're like, why do I even need this test? And you just kind of feel like so many places out here are just trying to scam you. If you're not just used to the environment or have somebody who can help guide you through some of this, you just may not be aware of that. Even your primary care doctor will try to upsell you on something just to make a quick buck, unfortunately. And you'll be amazed the amount of calls that you'll get from random scammers out here, or text messages about unpaid Florida Sun Pass dues and whatever. It's just so bad out here. That's why I get so many phone calls throughout the day, because I do put my number up here and I get people who reach out to me. But if you reach out to me, please leave a voicemail, send me a text, so I know it's a real person, not a scammer. So it's not uncommon for me to get over 70 something calls a day at this point. You know, a lot of them are scams, but probably about 20 people a day I'm trying to get a hold of, trying to reach back to them and try and deal with everything else that involves with relocation, such as how to set up your electric. You know, do we have gas here? You know, how do I pay for this? Where's this? You know, these are phone calls I have to deal with every single day. So if you are going to reach out, make sure you leave a text or a voicemail so I can get back to you in a very timely manner. Number 6 negative about moving out here is that during the winter, the city vibe kind of changes a little bit. So I don't know if it's from all the snowbirds who come down here from a very cold, cloudy climate, and they come down here, especially the ones that come in right around, I'm gonna say February. For some reason, I don't know if they have seasonal affective disorder, don't want to diagnose them, but a lot of people are just so mean from the snowbirds. I don't know if it's the culture from up north. Again, I've lived in Florida my entire life, and it's just the people who come in at the very peak of winter up north. They just, some reason, they're just so angry. And down here in Florida, we're more relaxed. We have this very beautiful environment, and we're just trying to enjoy our lives. We're not so angry about doing everything like right now. It just creates a different environment for the city. Your favorite restaurants down here may double in the amount of people they serve a day, just from the population swell that occurs during winter. So the traffic gets a little bit worse. I would say during Meisner Park area, it gets a lot worse. That's why if you can afford to live in the Golden Triangle, neighborhood right there, that's a perfect place to walk to the beach, walk to your restaurant, walk to wherever you want, enjoy your life. Again, it's all about on what you want for your life and the price to actually get that. But I would say the environment in Boca changes quite a bit during the peak of winter in our country, just from everybody moving down here, living down here, to trying to fight off their terrible weather wherever they're from right now. And instead of like moving permanently down here, they're just been here occasionally and they haven't got that sunshine to make their lives much better yet. Now, the final negative, I would say something that I've noticed everybody who moves down here, they say they won't do this, but it's so easy to fall in the keep up with the Joneses trap. And this is where your neighbor buys something nice, you buy something nice, and then your neighbor sends their kid to some random program. So you feel obligated to send your kid to a random program. And out of nowhere, you have thousands of extra dollars a month going out just because everybody around you, especially here in Boca, loves to spend money on themselves, their trips, and their kids. They spend tons of money on their kids, and you definitely feel the pressure to kind of keep up because everybody's sending their kids to a summer camp, or they're buying their kids the latest thing, and your kid's gonna talk about what that kid brought to their kid's school. And I mean, my daughter loves it. Right now she's in like a pre-K program, and just last week a kid brought a musician, the kid before that brought a clown, the other one brought some random musician that banged on the drum and did some songs. But all the parents right now are trying to compete who can throw the best birthday presentation for the kid. At my daughter's school, we just brought cupcakes from Nothing Bundt Cakes because, you know, that's what we would like to do. We're gonna try not to keep up with the Joneses, but the other parents are really trying to outdo one another. My daughter came home with a coloring kit, a princess tiara, all this random stuff for a 4-year-old's birthday. And I just feel like every month the birthdays get larger and larger at the school the parents are willing to spend for their kid. Just at the school, they'll go to, like my daughter last month went to a birthday party where they did a princess event where they paid for an entire hair salon, entire part of the hair salon, right? They paid for the hair salon. They rented out the side. They did all the little girls, their nails, their hair. They dressed them like princess. They had a smoke machine. They did a photo shoot. And this is after they already had a birthday party at the school itself. So just to put in perspective that Boca Raton, it can easily trap you in this keeping up with the Joneses. It's very hard to fight it off depending on what type of person you are. We're trying to do our best right now by keeping everything simple, but sometimes it cannot be simple here in Boca. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. You got to see a little bit of the water, the beauty of living out here in South Florida. If you want to use me and my team, I've been added on agents here recently. Definitely reach out to me. My information's here below. We'll love to help you and your family relocate down here to South Florida, Boca Raton, just like my family relocated down here, and tons of other families have recently relocated down here as well. Other than that, have a great day. Take care.